Hello there, Biakamuzu desu, and welcome to my thoughts on Resident Evil Village's demo. So, the past Sunday, Resident Evil Village made a demo available for their village part of the game. So, it works as the last demos usually work, so you have 30 minutes to explore that part of the game. There will be other demos that I hope to also play, and this time they put a very closed window, so for here it was available only between April 18 and April 19, and I tried to use the most of those 30 minutes, but of course I always get lost in games, and the space that this demo works is a somewhat of an open space, so I really got lost at a certain point, so I wasted more time than I should, but that's the way that I play, and that was something I could not avoid. So, for what I saw of the demo, so I played until I reached the house of Luisa. So, you basically are exploring what I felt like was the beginning of Resident Evil 4. So, I reached a somewhat desert village, but instead of being deserted, it's snowy. You don't see people anywhere, so you have this eerie feeling, just like in Resident Evil 4. I felt like that the only difference was that I was playing in first person, and I don't know if it's because I'm now currently playing Uncharted, but I felt like the controls were also too sensitive. I would just twist a little the analog stick and the camera would move too much for my taste, but maybe it's because I'm more used to the Uncharted controls. So I tried to explore as much as I could, also with the thought in the back of my mind that I had to hurry because it's only 30 minutes. I played this in casual because I didn't want to focus in challenging combat. I just wanted to try it, uh, see how it feels, because I played a little of Resident Evil 7, and you don't have, it's not that you don't have combat, but you don't usually, you feel like Ethan in Resident Evil 7 is really defenseless. And in this game, he's much more proactive or much more normal as a protagonist because he has a knife. At a certain point, I also picked up a shotgun, and he has a normal weapon, and you really have to manage the things that you find. The inventory mechanic is also very similar to Resident Evil 4, so I didn't have much stuff, so I didn't have to manage nor anything like that, but it works in the same way from what I could gather. You have a different menu in the inventory part, so you can combine things. So I tried to make medicine, I tried to also make ammo. And if I'm not mistaken, it works differently from what I remember from Resident Evil 4, because for example, to make ammo I had to combine gunpowder and scrap metal, something like that. So I was a little confused about the combinations, but it basically tells you what you need, so you don't have like try and error because it says what you can do, and it's intuitive that way. So about the enemies in this demo, so you have the Lycans. This is a word that they use in documents, I read it, and they call what I suppose are people infected Lycans, because they are very hairy, they have somewhat of a werewolf appearance, and you have lots of them in one of the spots of the village to kill. So it's more or less that idea. Of course, they are humanoid. They carry machetes and other things, so they were probably human. They are probably infected human, but I don't know how they are going to explain these lichens. So you end up finding people in the village. You understand that, once again, this is similar to Resident Evil 4. There's an identity, in this case Mother Miranda, that is the founder and is worshipped like some kind, I won't say it is like a god, but she makes somewhat of a cult and a religion around her. So you understand that this is also very similar to Resident Evil 4, and people say, I don't understand, because you have characters that say that Mother Miranda brought darkness, and then you have characters who say that Mother Miranda is supposed to protect them. You really can't understand who she is or what is she supposed to do or represent in that village. So I just played the demo until the part in which I reached Luisa's house. Luisa is supposed to be some kind of protector. She's not like Mother Miranda, but she's a person of reference for everyone in the village, from what I could gather. She helps them, protects them in times of need, but she's a normal person. And Ethan was able to enter her house. Then you have a small cutscene where you understand somewhat of what's going on, and then my demo ended because I wasted too much time getting lost. I was only able to obtain one of the mechanisms to open the door of what I think is the Dimitris castle. I discovered that what I thought was Lady Dimitrescu, apparently it's read Dimitris, I don't know. And it needs two, and I only found one because the second one, I found a document about that, was supposed to be in Luisa's house. So, but because I got lost and only saw a cutscene inside Luisa's house, I wasn't able to finish that. I suppose that the demo, even if you have more, you still have time left in the 30 minutes. I suppose that the demo ends as soon as you are able to open the Castle Dimitris door. I will hope that when they have the 1 hour demo, I hope that you can continue. If not, I already know where to go now, and maybe I can see more and explore more. I want to see other people playing demos so I can give my opinion. About the demo in itself, I thought the gameplay was interesting because it felt natural, it felt similar to other Resident Evil games. I thought, although I haven't played much of the Resident Evil games. And I will continue to say that I'm not a fan of a first-person perspective in Resident Evil. I would prefer to have a third-person perspective, but it's interesting because playing this demo, I feel like this is a Resident Evil, and at the same time I feel like it isn't, because it has so much references, because I can see so many similarities with Resident Evil 4, for example, but then I see elements like the witch at the beginning talking to you, and the lichens, and they feel like they are going less on scientific virus-infected people to a more of a supernatural horror. So I just feel like they are moving outside Resident Evil without abandoning the Resident Evil name. But it's not a bad game. I like the experience and I like the exploring, but once again, it feels that it lacks identity, because I feel like I'm seeing Resident Evil 4 again. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think it makes it a somewhat of a copy. So these are my thoughts on the demo. As you can see, I didn't play much of it. I played the 30 minutes, but I didn't get to see much. So tell me your thoughts. If you tried it, tell me what you thought in the comments. Tell me what are your expectations for the game, and see you!